Hi everybody, this is probably going to be a longish video to show you how to take to Design Space all the files you get to create this beautiful 12-sided bouquet vase gift box with the camellia type rose and the bear grass and these other leaves and the bow and ribbon that ties around it. This one is different to my other bouquets because it's actually a gift box. My other bouquets are literally just vases of flowers, but I keep getting asked by people to make a vase which will take a gift inside it, usually sweets, I think people put inside them. And I didn't want to copy the six-sided ones that are already out there, so I've made mine a little bit different. It's got 12 sides, and more importantly, rather than it just having a flat shape that you stick in the top to glue flowers to, it's got a proper dome-shaped piece so that when it's finished, it looks like a real bouquet. It's not just a flat thing. It looks like a proper, tightly packed posy. I'm really pleased with how it's come out, and I hope you like it too. So let's pop it into Design Space and see how we cut it. You do get a PDF of very detailed assembly instructions for this. Don't know what I did there. We'll just do that again. And it tells you exactly how many flowers to cut, and how to put the thing together. It's not difficult. The flowers are not difficult to assemble either because I'm not very good at making flowers, actually, if I'm totally honest. So I have to make flowers that are fairly simple to make. Roses especially I'm hopeless at. The beautiful, curved things that you see people make. I don't know how they do it. So mine's a very simple one, but I do think it's a really effective looking thing. I've got some close-up pictures of the actual I think they look beautiful, and those leaves, I show you how to create those veins on them, and I think this bear grass, these long strands that come out, um, lighten up the arrangement and make it look really pretty. And I show you how to fill in any gaps you get by making these little flowerette type things with single layers, and I think they look really pretty too. Right, back to Design Space. So this is the main SVG. You get two, you get a separate one with the flowers in, but this is the main one to create the vase, the dome that sits on top, and the bow that wraps around it. So first job we've got to do, as usual, is to convert those lines that come in as cuts, which we actually want to be scores. And in my SVGs, as usual, they're all in that first subgroup in your layers panel. So you're just going to click on the name of that group. It's the second line down in your layers panel, and it selects everything in it. Go to your operations menu, wherever that is for you, and choose score. I'm on the PC version, desktop version for PC. While they're still selected, because there's more than one set, we need to ungroup them. Ungroup for me is at the top of the layers panel. Second step is to click on the group below, which contains all the cut pieces, and just ungroup them. And the third step is to select the whole SVG and ungroup it a third time. So now everything on screen is a separate piece, and we're going to be able to attach the score lines to the individual pieces that they relate to. This long purple piece is the ribbon that wraps around the waist of the vase. These are the bow components. That's the base of the vase. This is a wall. I only give you one, and the PDF of instructions tells you to duplicate it so you have 12. And this is the wall of the dome that the lovely roses stick to. Again, I just give you one because I don't see any point in putting 12 or 24 pieces on the canvas to which you're going to have to attach scores. So I just give you one of each, and then we can easily duplicate them. So we need 12 each of the walls for the base, the main vase, and then 12 of the pieces for the dome. It's a 12-sided project, is this? It sounds massive, but the repetition is such in this that it's really fast to assemble, especially if you use double-sided tape, as I recommend in the instructions. So we've got one of each there, we need 12. So I'm going to use Control D on my keyboard. The duplicate button is up here, top right if you're on the PC. It'll be on one of your menus at the bottom if you're on the mobile version. So I've got one of each there. I want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's hit make it and see what happens. The nice thing about this project is everything is small enough to cut from A4. You can obviously use bigger sheets if you want to, but I quite like the fact that everything will fit on A4. It just gives you a little bit more choice, doesn't it, in the card you've got. And obviously these bits, they'll cut from a scrap in your scrap drawer, hopefully. This is the vase itself. They're still cut from A4. You don't achieve anything by turning these around and slotting them in. If you're using A4, you probably will if you use letter, though. Let's just choose letter and see what happens. I wonder if... Oh, maybe not, actually. Curses. Put that there. No, I don't think you'd get another one down that side, would you? So I'm going to press cancel there and go back. So yeah, I don't think there's any point in twirling them around once you've got your make it mats, because I don't think you can fit 4 on a sheet of letter or A4. So just let Design Space do its thing and go with what it gives you if you're using A4 or letter, because I think the result will be exactly the same as if you spent a long time rearranging it yourself. It does feel like it should work, but I don't think it will. And again, that will cut, that's the bow front piece, and that will just cut from the tiniest piece in your scrap drawer, won't it? Okay, so that's dead simple. Don't really, not much to talk about there really. As I say, you get that PDF of instructions that shows you how to assemble it. It is not a difficult project to assemble at all. It's dead easy to understand, but you do need to have some skill, I think. You do need to be quite painstaking to achieve a nice result. But don't be put off by the fact that it's got 12 sides. Yes, there are a lot of pieces, but if you use double-sided tape, it's a quick, clean project to assemble. I absolutely love it, and I can see myself making quite a few of these for gifts, which I don't normally get time to do. But this is not a long make. The flowers, they're a different story. They are a bit time consuming, aren't they, flowers? But they're worth it. They look so pretty. Right, so that's the vase and the dome top and the bow. We'll get rid of those. I'm not going to cut it. And we'll just bring in the flowers and have a quick look at them, just to talk about them really. So this is a camellia type rose. It's made up of 7 layers, 2 of the 6 layer and 5 of the 7 petal layers. 1 stamen obviously and 1 flower back. The PDF of instructions tells you how many exactly to cut. You need 13 fully assembled roses for the posy, and then you use little single layer buds that you make from spares that you cut to fill in the gaps. If I can just find a picture to show you. Yeah, can you see there? So you've got your whole roses there, and in among we've got some little single layer rolled up things that make buds. If I can find another. Yep, there's one there, look. And it just fills in the gaps. Couple there, so that it really is a tightly packed posy. You can see a good selection of them there and there. I think they look really beautiful, and having those different sizes of flowers in, I think it really makes it look quite realistic. Can you tell that I'm quite pleased with this project? Singing my own praises there. Right. Okay, so you would ungroup that so you could make as many as you want. With the bear grass, I think, yeah, I tell you to cut 7 of those, 14 of these kind of leaves. I cut about 20 of these stamens because we might need some spares, and you need enough flowers to make, as I say, 13 fully assembled roses and then some spares. But you don't need to remember that now. The PDF tells you exactly what to cut. Again, these are tiny pieces, aren't they? So you will cut them from A4. I did spend a lot of time arranging my 7. You need 5 of those and 2 of those. And I did spend a lot of time arranging my 7 petals so that they would cut exactly from an A4. But obviously if you're using letter, it'll be different again anyway. And it took a long time, and I don't think it was worth it, because you have to be so careful with how you place your paper on the mat, and it didn't always work. So I would just let Design Space do its thing. So if you were making the flowers, so you need 5 of these. Let's just get rid of the leaves and the stamens for now. I don't really need to show you this, I don't think, but I will show you. So we need 5 of the 7 layer and 2 of those, and 1 flower back is 1 flower. So if you were ready to make it like that, up here in project copies, you'd go, well, I've actually asked you to make 15. You're going to assemble 13, but we want some spares. So you'd say 15, apply, and then you choose your A4. Oh yeah, it's worth talking about those actually, because that is crazy. What that does there, putting 2 on an A4, that's just bonkers. So we will go back and have a look at that, and I'll show you what I did do for those 2. So we're going to choose A4 for the pink as well. So yeah, I think just go with what Design Space gives you to make all those flowers. You do need quite a lot. As you can see, you need 18 sheets of petals, and it says you need 8 sheets of flower backs. You absolutely don't. So yes, I'm glad I did that actually. So let's just, we'll take those off for now. If you're using A4 or if you're using letter, here I would bring a shape in onto the canvas. Where's shapes? There it is. I'm going to bring a square in, and I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to make it 21 centimeters wide by 29.7 tall, which is what an A4 is. Send it to the back. Right, so here we are. So it put 2 on an A4. It's crazy, isn't it? It must be just the very borders of the thing, but as you can see, we can actually slot it into each other like that. Design Space takes it on a square margin, doesn't it? But we can actually overlay them like that. So I'm going to copy and paste those 2, bring those in, and they can slot in there like that. Paste it again, and you can see we can easily get 6 on an A4. Can move those down to give ourselves a bit more space. And then I would get rid of that, and I'd attach those. And you actually don't need spare flower backs. You do only need 13 flower backs. I also recommend in the PDF of instructions that you cut your flower backs out of the same material that you make your flower dome with. So whatever you make the flower dome, if I find it, there's one with it upside down where you can see it. Yeah, whatever you make this flower dome with, make the backs of your flowers, not the leaves, because you can make that out of pearlescent as I did there. Make your flower backs out of the same thing. So I actually chose quite a strong, crisp 250 gram green card to make my dome with, and I made the flower backs out of the same stuff because you want quite a tight curl on that flower back. It stops your rose unfolding too much. So yeah, but you don't need to remember that. That's another little tip that you get in the PDF of instructions. So yes, if you're cutting these, you might be able to fit that spare flower back onto a dome, one of your sheets that you cut your dome out of, rather than wasting a whole other sheet of A4. I think that's it. I don't need to waffle on anymore. If you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble it, please do not hesitate to get in touch. I think people do get a bit cross sometimes when they're making these projects, and they leave bad reviews on Etsy, and they're really unnecessary. Just come back to me, ask me a little question, and I'll be able to help you, and you will make a beautiful project, and we'll all be happy. You can get in touch via Facebook or Etsy, whichever you prefer. The links are in the description below this video, and if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description. Thanks very much. Bye.